Treyarch has always been king when it comes to that fast-paced, fluid gameplay and killer map designs in Call of Duty. With classics like Firing Range, Summit, Raid, and I would even put Moscow from Black Ops Cold War in that S-tier category. With 6 releases under their belt and a full 3-year development cycle, expectations for Black Ops 6 were sky high. But let's be real, they dropped the ball. The maps in Black Ops 6 are some of the worst that we've seen in franchise history. And Stakeout, it's the epitome of brainless gameplay. So today I'm taking matters into my own hands and I've remade Stakeout in Unreal Engine to fix its 3 biggest flaws. And I'm going to show you exactly how it fixes the map's flow and its pacing. Let's get into it. Now, obviously Stakeout is a gunfight map, meaning it's really designed for 2v2 gameplay, but with the face-off mode, you can play it as a 6v6 game mode because apparently Shipman wasn't small enough. But that's not an excuse for poor map design because even in the gunfight game mode, this map still plays poorly. It feels clunky, hard to get around, and you get stuck on a lot of the decorations in the map. When it comes to that feeling of being stuck, that brings me to my first issue I have with Stakeout, and that's these stupid railings in the center area. It forces you to mantle awkwardly over them, and sometimes, depending on your momentum, you'll just fully throw yourself through the center of the map out of bounds. The other issue is that if an enemy is in the doorway or already in that center area, you just lose the fight as soon as you go to jump over that railing because you get stuck in the mantle animation, and even though it's just for a short second, it's usually enough time for the enemy to kill you before you get your gun up. And these railings just kill any fluidity and flow this center area could have. It feels like they put 2 speed bumps in the middle of the map for no reason. So what I did to fix this is I left the front railing to protect you from accidentally falling through the center, but it also stops players from literally just sprinting through and jumping across the center gap. That might make the center area play just a little bit too fast. But as you can see here in my remade version, being able to run through here to the other side without having to mantle or jump over the side railings just makes the map feel so much more fluid, and we don't have any of that clunky stuck feeling. Also, a small side benefit, the center area is now a better place to rotate through while you're trying to get a reload off, where previously you would have to reload before you jumped over the railing or mantle it first and then reload while you try to jump over the second railing when you cross that center. But this is just one step in my 3-part solution to reducing the brain rot of this map, and the last change I made is probably the best and most significant change I made because it affects multiple aspects of the gameplay. The second issue I have is these 2 bedrooms on the side here, and the main problem is that if someone is camping really hard behind the bed, it's very difficult to actually get them out of there, especially if they're using the flak jacket perk because they will typically survive any explosives you throw at them. Now, there is a very small, and I mean very small, gap to throw a grenade through, but you really have to line it up well, and usually by the time that you cook the grenade, line it up, and throw it through the window, another enemy's already shooting you in the back. Now, I have a 2-part solution for this, but we'll get to the second part of the solution in a bit because it ties into my last issue and how I fixed it. So, to fix this problem, I actually just added a bigger window to these rooms, as well as some decoration for you to stand on to be able to see through it. This allows you to not only get things like grenades and stuns through easier, but you can actually see if someone is standing on the other side. Now, this doesn't completely ruin that area as a power position for people that like to camp, but it does force you to crouch to avoid being shot while you're camping there. It also adds some fun moments where you can just have a little gunfight through the window. Before we get to the last issue on this map, I want to talk about something for those of you who share my passion or frustration with Call of Duty. If you love the game but hate things like skill-based matchmaking, check out the merch on my site. We've got everything from the SBMMTs to Make Call of Duty Great Again shirts and some killer background packs if you want to support the channel for just a few bucks. But if you want to be part of this community, becoming a channel member is the best way to go. Members get a few benefits. Your comments on videos stand out and guarantees that I see them and reply. You'll also get some fun animated emojis to spam in the chat whenever I do live streams, as well as a nice little badge next to your name in both the comment section and live streams. Your support directly helps me keep the channel going and continue to improve my videos. Now back to Stakeout, and on to the 3rd and final issue I have with this map. So we already talked about how this map feels clunky, and again, I get that it's a small map with a lot of players, so it kind of feels like the clown car game mode. But I think you'll see that after we fix this issue, that the map just flows so much better. Now this is probably my biggest complaint about this map, and it's these balconies. Oh my god, these balconies are so annoying, both in the way they play and the way that people camp on them in the weirdest, most annoying ways possible. I get that you can jump from balcony to balcony, but what does that do for the gameplay and flow of this map? it doesn't add a skill gap, and it doesn't make it more fun to play, and ultimately it just makes the map almost feel more claustrophobic somehow because of how narrow those ledges are. So what I did to fix this was create one continuous balcony that extends to each side of the building. This area is now much more playable and feels less cramped. Now, it did present another issue that I had to solve, which was line of sight from one side to the other, but I just put these two giant pillars here to block off that line of sight and allow you to actually move up to the center area without getting picked off by somebody hard scoping on the other corner of the map. We already have enough of that in the kitchen hallway on the other side of the map anyway. Now, not only does this fix the clunky feeling of jumping from railing to railing, only to be picked off by someone laying down on the railing in the back, but it also adds a bit of spawn relief by creating two more safe spawn areas here and here, which should reduce some of the frustrating situations where you just spawn into bullets and die without being able to do anything about it. But we can't forget about how this also helps fix the bedroom camper situation we talked about earlier. The way the current map is designed in Black Ops 6, you're either forced to avoid that area entirely or try to challenge them even though they have all of the advantage. But with this one long continuous balcony, you can quite simply just run by. Obviously, they can still shoot at you, but your chances of getting by here are much better than taking that face-to-face fight with somebody who's camping and has all the advantages. Overall, as you can see here in the Unreal Engine demo that I've built, my version of Stakeout plays quite a bit more fluidly than the version we have in Black Ops 6. And listen, I get that this is not supposed to be the pinnacle of map design. Hell, I don't even know if it's supposed to be a good map because it's ripped from a part of the Warzone Avalon map that we have yet to see. But I do think they could make some small changes like this to actually make the map just play better. If you made it this far, don't click off yet. I need your help. These videos take a ton of time to make because I have to measure and rebuild everything from scratch in Unreal Engine. So if you want to see more videos like this where I recreate maps and fix them, drop a comment and let me know which Black Ops 6 map I should tackle next. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to watch another one, click here.